Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Jermaine Morgan TV. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about this cool thing that I've been using for a while. Recently, I've been asked about the different type of preamps or any type things like that I use. So I wanted to talk about this cool little pedal that I was sent from my buddies over at TC Electronic called the Spector Drive preamp. Now this thing comes in really handy. And I've been using it for about a year now in both live situations and recording situations. And you'd be surprised at the versatility at this little thing. So for those of you who've been around for a while, you know me, I'm a pretty straightforward plug up and play type guy. And that's the thing I do like about TC Electronic. It gives you those options to do just that. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You have a gain, a tube drive, Spectra comp, if you are familiar with the Spectra comp pedal or the compression from TC Electronic. You have the level, that's your overall level, you know, your gain controls that as well. You have your bass, your low mid, high mid, and treble. It's pretty straightforward, just like an amp or just like a typical preamp. One of the things I do like about this one, you do have that direct line, the driver outline here that you can use an XLR. If you're using this for recording or even live, if you want to bypass having an amp and just use monitors and that kind of thing, which I don't really care for that, but if that's your thing, it works great for that as well. But not only that, if you want to go the more traditional option, here's obviously your input jack here. You have a through if you want to go to like a tuner or something like that, and then you can go out straight into the amp or straight into the board, however you choose to record. And you have a few toggle switches here. You have the USB output as well as, you know, obviously the power. Now, one thing that I do want to mention here, you have an auxiliary in. One of them is for your earphones. So like if you're a traveling musician, you're in a hotel or something like that, and you need to get your practice on, you can't really hear. Everybody knows when you're playing your bass and you don't have anything to plug up to and you're stuck with the acoustics in the room, sometimes that can be pretty cool because you get to hear the sound of your bass, but sometimes it can kind of suck because if people are in the room talking, you really can't hear. So this gives you the option to not only plug your headphones in and be able to hear yourself play, but you have the auxiliary option where you can plug like your phone or your laptop or wherever you have your tracks, things that you need to practice to, music you need to practice to, if you need to practice to YouTube or something like that. You can plug it in here and actually be able to hear it and practice at the same time while hearing your bass. So it's a nice little situation that helps you to do that. It has this feature that's a drive feature, and we'll get into that a little later in the video, but it has this feature that's like an overdrive feature that allows you to kind of overdrive your bass to get a little bit more of a trashier sound. Me, I'm not really into that, but for certain songs, you never know, you might want to pull it out for like a solo or just having a really gritty bass line or that kind of thing. So, you know, it works for that if that's your thing. But for me, primarily, I use it for the compression. I don't like a lot of compression when I play, and that's the thing that I do like about this pedal. Of course, it has a lot to do with your personal settings, how you set your bass, how you set your instrument. But me, for the sake of this video, I have I dialed up a little higher than I normally would set my compression settings, but it allows you to have a nice clean control sound. Even when you're in a situation where you start digging in and playing a little bit more aggressive, you can still have a lot more control. So you get the option of bringing out a lot more of the qualities of your bass simply by being able to tweak it and EQ it and boost it a little bit if you're not getting exactly what you need just from the bass alone. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a rundown of what this pedal consists of and show you why you might need to add it to your arsenal. So let's play this thing and see what it sounds like. All right, so what I'll do is I'll start with the signal dry. That way you can kind of get an idea of what it sounds like just with nothing, with the bass alone, with the EQ of the bass alone, and then I'll add in the compression so you can kind of get a feel for the difference in the sound. So first with nothing. All right, and so that's with nothing. Let's add something to it. Okay, and so now you can hear the difference in the quality of the sound. Obviously, that's a lot more warmer. You have a little bit more high end because of the way I have the EQ settings set on this particular setting. Now, let's do that same thing in the context of the groove so you can kind of hear it with something else being played. it definitely enhances the sound of your bass depending on what you're going for, the sound that you want. If you're looking for just a little bit more grit in the bass line like that, you can kick in that drive. And where I have this tube drive setting at now, it's not overbearing, but it's enough there to just give you a little bit more grit. So I'll demonstrate. So you can see that gets really dirty and really ugly really quick. So it's up to you how much you, of course, you adjust those settings to your liking and that type of thing. But I really just want to demonstrate this, the difference in the sound, the tone quality that you get out of this particular pedal. Me personally, I enjoy the pedal and I think it's a great addition to my family of toys that I use. You can never have enough toys when it comes to playing bass or any instrument for that matter. So, but it definitely adds a lot more to the sound and a lot more to what I'm trying to create, and it's definitely inspiring. Anytime you hear something, let's be honest, anytime you add another toy or another something to whatever it is you're playing, you're inspired to create because you sit there and you jam out for hours. So it's definitely something that's worth checking out. All right, so for the guys that want to know, where have you been? You've been MIA. I actually put up a live post where I talked to a lot of you guys. If you've been following, if you were on that live, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't watched that, go back and check that out. The live post that I put up talking about kind of what's been going on in my life. I won't spend this video doing that. But I do want to encourage you guys to follow me on other platforms like Facebook and Instagram. I'm on Instagram at JMorganBass. Be sure to follow me there. I also want to let you guys know about the relaunch of Say It With Your Strings. So if you already follow me on other platforms like Facebook and Instagram, you already know that I'm partnered with Bass Players United. I'm always posting lessons there on the Bass Players United page as well. Say It With Your Strings. We're constantly posting videos there on the Facebook page and on the Instagram page. So if you want to be featured, be sure to follow both those pages and DM one of those pages, if not both of them. We're going to be randomly selecting players who post videos, preferably of some of the content that we've covered in some of the lessons, but it doesn't have to be limited to that content. If you have a really cool video of something that you're playing, we're going to randomly pick a feature for that day and we're going to post on Say It With Your Strings. I'm going to also share from time to time some of the people that we're featuring on Say It With Your Strings on my personal page on Instagram. So you might be featured next. You just never know. Just be sure to follow at Say It With Your Strings on Instagram, and the same thing on Facebook, Say It With Your Strings on Facebook. But do connect with me on these other platforms. I'm interested in sharing with you guys there as well. And I do post 1-minute clips of some of the things we may have covered here on YouTube. Sometimes some things that I didn't post to YouTube gets put on my Instagram page. So again, if you're not following those channels, please go follow now, and let's get ready for the relaunch of Say It With Your Strings, because I want to definitely feature you guys who've been following me, especially some of you guys who share some of the licks that I've played in some of the lessons and that type of thing, and you repost, you've tagged me in some of them. Thank you for tagging me, because I love to see what you guys are doing with the content and just you taking it and putting your own spin on it. That's the coolest thing to me, I think. Let me know in the comments what you think about the pedal. Is this something you think you want to add to your arsenal? So anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next video. I'm out of here. Peace.